Welcome back, Commanders, to another video, and today we're going to be looking at artillery and what is the best offense artillery officer setup. And with that being said, it's going to be focused on if you are running two artillery, what is going to be the best combination to have on the two separate artillery units. Now, there is going to be a bit of a twist, and we're going to be going into looking at what potentially could be the second best option, and if that second best option is better. So, if you are an artillery main, buckle up, guys, because I think you're going to really enjoy this video. We're going to be using 5 officers. It's going to be I, Antonina, Liberty, Stinger, and Flame. And the reason for this is I don't have Red Heat, unfortunately, so it's going to be really hard to test with her. But maybe one day, if I ever manage to get her, which probably won't happen, but we're able to add her into the conversation too. So the way I've done this, guys, is I kind of made an attack over onto my friend Dev Ghost, and what we done was I decided to do an attack with every single officer combination. So I started with Antonina and I, and then we kind of done the result, saw what the skill damage was from that, and then we done that all the way through. So as I said, we tested with Antonina and I, we then tested with Flame and Antonina, and obviously Flame went first because he does offer that extra ability to gain that 25% to his aid if he is the captain. So Flame is at the start of every one of his attacks, but of course with that we've gone through and done all the options available, and the end results are as follow. As predicted, the highest scoring was I with Liberty, and that came in at 66.5 million. The second best was Flame with I. Again, I is going to be at the top of all of these, guys, because he offers the most offensive damage to bases, and the combination with Flame and I came in at 52.8 million. And then we done Antonina and I, which was kind of surprising, and that came in at 47.1 million. And even though the coefficient of Stinger is much higher, when we done Stinger with I, that came in at 44.6 million. So with I being sort of the main attraction, that's kind of the basics of the I attacks. Now moving forward, I'm going to give you the rest of the results. So when we had Flame with Liberty, we done 36.8 million. Then with Antonina and Liberty, we done 33.5 million. Liberty with Stinger came in at 32.7 million. Flame and Antonina came in at 30.7 million. Flame and Stinger very low down at 27.3 million. And finally at the bottom, the worst result out of today's was Antonina and Stinger, and that came in at 24.7 million. So the reason for today's video was, do we add the two best options available, or do we go for a second option? So the first and main option that you would think would be to have Liberty and I on an unit, because obviously this is the highest possible outcome, and this was at 66.5 million. And if you are going to be having Liberty and I on a unit, the second best option available was actually going to be Flame and Antonina, and this clocked in at 30.7 million. Now, if you add the two of these together, this gives you a total of 97.2 million. And if you're hitting a base, 92.7 million damage is going to be the highest amount of damage you're going to be able to deal from the skills, of course, in one hit. I do also just want to clarify, guys, for the testing, I did in fact remove all skill training, so this is just raw damage from the officers so that we got the most purest and easiest available results. Obviously, you're going to deal a lot more damage once you have all that skill training on, and once you completely buff up your units to the maximum of their ability. But I just wanted to get that clarification out there. Now, the second best option was going to be to try and find the sort of average officers. So the second option I mentioned earlier on, guys, is going to be to find above average officers, but not necessarily the best and then the second best of what's ever available. But what if we found a median that was higher than the worst but a little bit lower than the best, and see if that would be a better combination than if we was to go straight for the best and the worst. So with that being said, the second option would actually be I and Antonina clocking in at 47.1 mil, and then Flame and Liberty clocking in at 36.8 mil. Now, the results, if you add those two together, are going to be 83.9 million. So although this is a 13.3 mil difference, there's kind of a part of me that thinks maybe this could still be a better option. And what I mean by that, guys, is let's just say you're attacking an offline base. Sure, you are going to be better off using the best options available, which would be the Liberty and I1. But if you are attacking someone who's online, whenever they're defending themselves, they are going to snipe one of your Howies. And let's be honest, if you had the Liberty and I and the Antonina and Flame option, they're going to go for that Liberty and I combo. 9 times out of 10, they're going to try and snipe your strongest Howie, which would be, when you're attacking them, it's going to be your Liberty and your I. So if you lose your Liberty and I, you now only have remaining your second option, which is only going to be Flame and Antonina, which it's an okay combo. But is it the best combo when coming to defending? Obviously not. Now, if you was to have I and Antonina, and then you had Flame and Liberty, if you attacked a base, I don't know about everyone, but I for sure know that if someone's attacking my base, I want to take out the Howie that's going to deal the most damage to my base to keep me alive longer. So I'm going to snipe the Howie that has I on it. So if I'm sniping the Howie that has I and Liberty on it, if I'm then going to go on the counter attack, I'm going to feel a lot more confident knowing that they've lost their main damaging Howie. And if I do counter them, and let's just say they do kill me, I know I'm safe on the recounter because they've just lost their highest damaging output. But here's the thing, if that second Howie that I haven't destroyed is a Flame with Liberty on it, that is just as scary. Because not only is that going to destroy my tanking unit, but if they jump out and snipe my Howies, well, guess what? They've still got a very strong counter ability option still available. And at that point, I'm almost defenseless. So here's the thing you need to think about. Do you want to have something that's just going to deal pure damage to a base? Or do you want something that could theoretically be rather versatile in both defense and offense? And I think, guys, in general, I personally would always go with the option of having that Liberty and I on there. And the reason for it is because, especially if I'm going for offline bases, I don't really need to worry about them sort of jumping out and sniping my main unit. The only thing I'd really need to worry about at that point is if I'm pulling away fast enough from, you know, my tanking unit dying, or if they have Stinger in their base, which if they have Stinger in their base, I'm going to have all my units hit regardless. But with that being said, it is definitely something to think about if you are defending against an online attacker. Maybe you could switch up to have the second best option available, because as I said, if you're going to attack someone who's online and you know you're going to lose one of your Howies, maybe think about having a sort of versatile option where you still have an above average secondary, because as I said, if you lose that Liberty and I, you're only left with Flame and Antonina, and it's not the craziest of defenses. But if you had Flame and Liberty as a secondary defense, well, that is still a very strong option. So guys, I hope this video kind of helped you. It's a bit of a wild one. I kind of just wanted to summarize that feeling in the back of my mind. I've always been asking myself, what is the best combination of officers? And realistically, it depends what you want to do. Are you attacking? Are you defending? There is no real concrete one when it comes to defending, because that's such a hard thing to test, because you don't know what's attacking you. You don't know if you're going to get attacked by a rally of tanks and helicopters, or if you're going to be getting attacked by a rally of Howies. It all depends on what's attacking you. It all depends on what officers are going to be the best combination from that effect. But when it comes to attacking, there is something we can test there, because no matter what, we can easily test what the best results are for when you're attacking a base, and then what's the best option going to be. As I said, depends if you're attacking an offline base or an online base. Maybe think about switching up your setup. But overall, I hope these stats helped you understand what's going to be the best option in the different scenarios. As always, guys, I appreciate you all for tuning into today's video. Have an amazing rest of your weekend, and I'll see you in the next one.